Hey everyone, I am going live tonight to do a really special new moon forecast. I don't always jump on this particular group to do these, but tonight I felt really called to get on here and give you guys just a little bit of truth and a little bit of guidance for what's going on right now. There's a lot of changes happening. So as you guys jump on the screen here, give me a shout out of where you're from. We see that there is a ton of new people who have joined our Facebook group here on Quantum Life Community, and I'm super excited to meet you all, and I'm sure most of you have probably come from YouTube or Second Sunday, so welcome to our group. We'll probably be doing a lot more in this group as far as little bits and teachings in here as we kind of ramp up this year we've got here. So really what I want to do is kind of introduce myself for those of you who are just getting to know me. My name is Jessica Alstrom. I've been working as basically a quantum scientist, spiritual messenger for the past 7 to 8 years now. And I'm still loving every minute of my calling and advancing and teaching and really just kind of working with the collective every minute. So, you know, a lot of teachers ask me why I'm still doing content when I have 2,000 to 3,000 hours, you know, in my archive. And the reason is because, you know, I believe that you guys need to be informed in the minute as we're going through this ascension process. And obviously, if I've got something to say and teach, I'm going to keep showing up. So we teach, you know, twice a week in my subscription group, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit because we have a lot of big things coming up this year in our groups. And maybe some of you guys aren't familiar with our other groups that we have, but you know, Facebook is a really good platform for me to be able to connect to the rest of the planet. And on YouTube, we're in 102 countries. So a lot of you guys have been spending time working through the podcasts on YouTube, but I will tell you that what we have in the subscription group and in the academy is about close to 2,000 hours of really intense content that will never be on YouTube. So for basically $22 a month, you're getting live coaching, live teachings for this really, really fast moving shift that we're in. I will tell you, this new moon is even really knocking me off, and I've been preparing for this for the past year. I've been preparing for this month for the whole year. So last year in May, I've been basically preparing energetically for this month. And I'm going to get into that when I start talking about the message for today, but I really wanted to invite those who are ready for more advanced teachings, more intimate guidance, to jump into our subscription group, which is Jessica Alstrom Quantum Life Tica, T-I-C-A. And if any of you guys are in that group and you're loving it, give me a shout out. I know that we are actually getting ready to start a 4-week workshop this Thursday night. I do that quite a bit. I'll do live coachings and teachings, and then I'll get a download, and you know, all of a sudden I'm teaching a workshop. So this particular workshop that's coming up right now that I'm going to be starting Thursday, which is part of your subscription group, is called Milking Frequency. And as I get into the message today, you guys will really understand what I mean by the purpose of being able to hold and focus during intense change. Because that's really what's coming up right now, is your whole world is going to change. Everything that you know about yourself, everything you know about your security, everything you know about your identity, everything that you know about your purpose or not know about your purpose is going to be exposed this year and or crumbling. And so I'm really going to get into that when we jump in the message, but I want to let you guys know that, you know, I have been doing this subscription Facebook group now for over a year. And we're building and we're growing, and it's a really good outlet for me to be able to just jump online and teach a live class anytime, anywhere on the planet, and be able to interact with all of you guys, for those of you who are not ready to jump on board for the big university that we have. So it's a great opportunity for you to have your hand held during these big changing times. I know a lot of you have several different teachers, and I welcome that. I mean, I truly believe that having an abundance of people saying the same thing brings clarity, it brings safety, and it brings awareness. And really that's going to be the key thing that you're going to need to really make it through the next 3 months. So let me jump into the message, because really what the collective is experiencing, and you know, I always talk about there's two collectives. There's the unawakened collective, and then there's the awakening collective. And you guys are part of the awakening collective. Some of you are, you know, awakened, you're integrated, and you're working through transcendence, which is really what the ascension is. And that's kind of what, you know, what is the basis of my quantum teachings is the awakening is just, you know, the realization that I am. And the integration is integrating that you are, you know, 50% spiritual and 50% human, and learning how to work as a team biochemically and spiritually together with yourself. And then transcendence. And transcendence is basically the completion process. It is you becoming one with yourself and back into unity with all. So really the journey here on earth is nothing to do about, you know, relationships outside of you. It is mastering the relationship with the three consciousness that reside within you, the me, myself, and I. The conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious, because they're all telling different stories, and law of attraction is responding to all three of those stories coming from you. Your biochemical root magnetic energy is literally creating your reality. So whatever your root believes about yourself is really what you're going to be manifesting. And a lot of people say, oh, you know, I live up here and I live in the ethers and I don't like Earth and I don't like being here. Well, this is, if you're one of those people who are still struggling with finding your place as a spiritual helper, a starseed, an indigo, a Blu-ray, a crystal, or whatever you want to call yourself, if you're still struggling being a part of the planet, being rooted on this planet, being here, you're probably noticing that your entire life is crumbling. So what is actually happening? So first of all, we know that a new moon is all about setting intentions. It's all about, okay, we've just kind of gone through a cycle and we're beginning again. But this particular new moon is like, it's super hardcore. I don't even know how to explain it in a kind of a feminine way. It is extremely hardcore energy. And it is about basically awakening through change, because change is usually what gets you focused, it gets you moving, it gets you desiring, it gets you feeling, it gets you back alive. It brings you back to life. Oh, okay, something's changing. You know, sometimes it takes a lot for us to get ourselves moving. And as a spiritual practitioner and teacher and mentor, the number one, if I had one complaint that I speak to my guides all the time about, is that there are way too many people who have a head full of spiritual knowledge that don't do anything with it. Because until you actually become your spiritual knowledge, a walking, talking example of what you know, your root does not get the feedback that that is who you are. The root is still operating in its last program sequence. So the root is where the electromagnetic energy sends with the sacral energy and manifests reality. So if you're saying, oh, I know how to drive that car, and I know how to do this spiritual journey, and I know how to, you know, manifest my reality, and I know how to do that, if your root and sacral are not completely in alignment with that belief systems, you're living a major double life. So you're living a life where you're studying constantly and it's the only thing that brings you joy, but the actualization of what you know is not being put into action by you. You're a healer that's not healing, right? You're a teacher that's not teaching. You're a leader that's not leading, right? And what will happen is this huge disconnect will happen. And really what the universe is going to do is support you in the unraveling of your own separation. That is what this new moon is going to do, is it's going to unravel your own separation. It's going to force you back together with yourself. Now, Uranus is coming in hot, and you know, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to like do all the crazy things. All I know is I get the downloads from my guides. Basically, this Uranus energy is really slow moving energy. So when it actually moves into position, it sends this huge wave, and this wave is like, if you track the last 84 years and the last 84 years before that, there was earthquakes, there's huge changes. It usually brings great destruction to bring new alignment. It's basically like the flattener. It's going to come in and it's going to flatten all of your false security. It's going to flatten any relationship that is not in alignment with your higher purpose, or it's not in alignment with your love, true love for your heart's desire. It's going to flatline any false structures around you and money. And it's going to flatline, your relationship with your body. So if you are noticing extreme physical pain right now, if you're noticing an empty bank account, if you're noticing that just everything is being completely ripped from you or taken from you, that is a byproduct of this next level that's coming in, that's saying, okay, you guys have had a few years of dress rehearsal, you've been integrating, we've been saying, practice, 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 because this is the main show. This is the show where we don't have any false securities to hide from. And that's what I called this video, is how deep is your love? Because basically, as this energy flatlines everything that is not in alignment with love, everything that is going to, especially you guys. See, I've noticed that I tapped into both collectives today, and the Unawakened Collective, the Matrix Collective, they're actually not as disturbed as my Lightworker Collection, my teacher community. The teacher community is really having what I call spiritual schizophrenia right now, where you're feeling like you're being pushed and pulled, pushed to the past, grief and shame, depression, and then high states of awareness, right? And so that's another reason why I'm starting this 4-week workshop, is because you have got to figure out how to find your middleman in that, your middle character. Because your middle character is actually going to help you milk the frequency of both aspects of yourself to bring you into balance. And the way that you've got to do that is you can't go high and then keep dropping all the way out, high and dropping all the way out. You've got to be able to have that net there. And so I'm going to teach you how to build that net for basically the next 3 months, because if you're going to keep falling down, your body is going to kind of go into crisis, because extreme highs and extreme lows really cause the body to move out of alignment with its hormone systems and its ability to utilize brain and body connections thoroughly. So this energy that's moving from into Taurus, right? Taurus is all about home and rooting and grounding. So basically what the universe is saying right now is, I'm here to rip out your old roots. I am here to destroy your old roots, your own belief systems, your old securities, your old identity structures, your old pride issues, your old, fears, and literally rip the ground from underneath you. And what the Taurus energy is going to ask you to do is reground. So regrounding in higher self, regrounding in your new awareness. Because the thing is you guys have all come so far. You're moving out of integration into transcendence. So if after you move out of integration into transcendence, you've got to level up. And every time you level up, it's like, if I go to level 2, I've got to leave level 1. If I go to level 3, I've got to leave level 2. So a lot of you guys are still resisting leaving level 1 and level 2. But you cannot be in level 3 and create your reality the way you want to, in your heart's desires, in your vision, while you're still having level 1 conversations or level 2 friendships or level 1 settling jobs. Or you can't be the you that you've been intending and asking for and demanding from the universe and still operating in old systems. So I've been working in my mentorships this week, and literally the thing that keeps coming up over and over again is, all you guys are doing is running old programs. At some point, there's got to be someone there that does an intervention on the program that just keeps showing up. It's like, you get high and then you drop into fear. You get high, you drop into doubt. You get high and you drop into loss. You guys are not catching yourself in some frequency that I teach about over and over and over again, and it is the frequency of gratitude towards self. So when you start to fall, you've got to be there to catch yourself, and you've got to use your present moment awareness. And if you are not grounded right now, if you are not grounded in rerooting. So this is where we're planting new seeds. And the deeper the roots, the stronger you'll be in the new earth, the new world that's coming, because everything is going to be flatlined. That's why we've had so many death experiences in the last 6 years. We've had so many people leaving the planet, and not because necessarily they couldn't hang. They were saying, okay, my soul contract is done. I'm going to work from the other side. I literally woke up this morning, downloaded some messages that I'm going to give you guys today, and got in my car, and a bird literally committed suicide on my windshield. And I thought, well, if this is not a reflection of what the collective is experiencing right now, because the thing is birds are literally always in the flow with nature, and they're always in the flow of what's going on, and this is even unbalancing nature. It's going to tip the scales for nature too. So really, where you're going to find your biggest security is deep, deep, deep within yourself. Deep within yourself, not deep within your partner, not deep within your books, but deep within yourself, and then showing up. Because in order to plant a seed, somebody's got to watch the seed, sow the seed, water the seed, make sure the seed is safe while it's germinating, and that needs to be the aspect of you governing your own new life. This Taurus energy is also about really focusing on what is heart-centered important. What is your soul's desire? What is your heart's desire? If you're using time, space, and energy for anything that is not in alignment with your heart's desire, it will be removed from you by the higher version of you with the universe's, with the universe's help, which is, you're a fractal of the universe. You are the universe, but you're co-creating this whole experience. This energy is going to help to awaken the rest of the population. So again, when things move into destruction, it's always a rebirthing cycle. So you guys are you're not losing your lives, you're beginning them. You are, no matter how painful your life feels right now, it's pressure that creates the diamond. And regardless of what you feel is being lost right now, all you actually have to do is really ground in who you are. I mean, who have you become over the last 5-6 years? How far have you come? Like, what have you accomplished? How many people have you helped? Where's your level of awareness? You have to anchor into that right now, because you haven't yet built this new world for yourself. Yet the old one doesn't feel any safer than the experience of the unknown. So there's this, like I said, it's this kind of spiritual schizophrenia that a lot of you teachers are experiencing, a lot of you messengers, a lot of you practitioners are experiencing right now, because you're moving into alignment and then you're being pulled to an old program. You're moving into alignment and you're being pulled into a program. And it's making you feel exhausted, pain in your body. It's if you're not using pain as a messenger, you're using money as a messenger. If you're not using money as a messenger, you're using relationships as a messenger. It's like, where is the unearthing happening in your life? And if anywhere that is happening, it's saying, I need to uproot my belief systems in that area. Get back to center. Who am I? What do I truly want? What is my true heart's desire? And then dive down deep as you can, and reground in the earth energy. There's going to be a lot of planets that are going to be holding earth energy for us right now to help those who don't want to be here and don't feel like this is their planet or feel like this is their home. All of this new energy that's coming in is going to not force you, but tough love you into staking your claim as this is your home. Because if you're really here to make a change on the planet, you better find a way to call this place home. You have to get really comfortable on the planet. You have to deeply, deeply root. So the deeper the roots, the taller you can grow, the brighter your light can shine. Without roots, you're noticing that everything is just being taken right? So, and that's a good thing. So none of this is actually like a bad process. You know, if you look at a mother giving birth, you watch her go into extreme discomfort and extreme pain, and then total surrender, and then letting go, and then rebirthing. So there's, even though the body is no longer holding the baby's now outside the body, there's a birth and a death experience that goes along with that, and literally you are being rebirthed into a whole new energetic structure where your body literally has to be purged of fear and guilt and shame and humiliation and resentment in order to move into a purification point. It has to be purified. So we're moving from authentic to transparent, and that's integration to transcendence. So as we move into transcendence, you are going to be basically as clear as you possibly can. So lots of pain in the body equals intense purging of old cellular memory of guilt and shame. I will tell you the way that you're going to be able to ease your pain right now, if you have a lot of physical body pain, is surrender it. Literally surrender the pain. If you've got money problems, surrender to it. If you've got relationship problems, surrender to it. And instead of returning to a false sense of security outside of you, a pill, a person, dive all the way down deeply. Ask for your divine unseen friends to surround and guide you, and literally begin to breathe healing into your body. This is what I see a lot. Super sick healers, okay? Super powerful, motivating, broke teachers. How is this serving us? It's not. So if you're sick, it's time to heal yourself. If you're broke, it's time to recollect your own freedom, because money symbolizes freedom. And usually there's two main themes that people choose when they incarnate on the planet to work out as they're working through their ascension. And that is one of self-love, and the other one is freedom. So whatever one you're identifying with, usually the self-love brings a lot of physical pain in the body, and the freedom brings a lot of outside physical stuff like relationship traumas and being trapped and feeling jailed and stuck and blocked and money issues. So whatever you're identifying with your theme, it's about literally surrendering all you've created up until this point, letting the earthquake literally take everything, breathe, set a new powerful intention, and begin again with new seeds. Not the seeds that your parents planted, not the seeds that your church planted or your school planted, but the ones that you choose to plant with the me, myself, and I. What does your ego want for the rest of this reality? I have been working with my Tika group in Facebook to work really hard with you guys to manifest your earth ego desires. And the reason why is because it's not about death of the ego, it's about integrating. It's about healing that inner child. And it's about reparenting that inner child so that it can evolve. You know, appreciation and reparenting actually gets the ego to grow up with you. And if it can grow up, it can move into the ascension process, because you're not leaving any man behind. You're not leaving any aspect of yourself behind, or you're not going. If you are ignoring your ego's needs, right? And the ego's needs are all about creation of matter. Because again, the ego identifies with that mortal presence. So to the ego, it identifies magic with gold and treasure and abundance of, beautiful things and castles and elegance and sophistication. And the soul identifies with expansion, right? So the ego is just as important as the soul's. And knowing that you're on this journey with the me, myself, and I, and the body is literally kind of the mediator between everything, and it's reacting based on who's in the driver's seat. So I've done thousands of hours of teaching on this in my subscription group. So it's totally worth it for you guys to join that. Let's see. Push-pull, just want to make sure I'm covering everything that my guides were forcing me into speaking about tonight. So so this new workshop that's coming up is going to begin this Thursday. It's for subscription students. It's going to be a 4-week, pretty intensive training on how to reground, reparent, restructure, focus on the reality that of the seeds that you're creating, which means the seeds that you're planting. What seed are you planting right now? Are you planting the seed of I'm stressed about money, or are you planting the seeds of I am abundance, I am freedom, I am, and I am going to protect and nurture this seed while the storm is going on, and I am not going to let anything interfere. That's what really about milking frequencies, because in order for that seed to actually create a bloom, it has to go through its process untainted, undisturbed, unchanged, which means you can't keep changing your mind. Oh, I don't want the job, I do want the job. I don't want the boy, I do want the boy. I don't want this, I do want this. It's like you can't keep making decisions in your lower, unevolved, old pattern character and then go into her higher realms and try to make decisions, because basically what will happen is you're going to create a pretty intense storm. And I'll tell you what else creates physical pain in the body is opposing frequencies. Opposing frequencies bouncing up against each other. If you've ever done like a battery that you were charging with the car and like accidentally connected the two opposites, it's pretty much like an explosion. So what happens is you have this loud intention of I am abundance and freedom, like that you really truly believe from a higher realm. And then you have I am not supported, and I am not loved, and I am not seen and heard, and you know the universe doesn't love me, and that's just as strong. So it's like two opposing forces happening in your body, and your body's going, the only way I can get the message that you guys are literally on two separate spectrums is to create pain. Now, if you don't identify with the body, then you're probably identifying with that pain outside of you, which is money, time issues, and relationship issues. Okay? So, this is just what I wanted to like really kind of plant with you guys today, is that this is not going to get easier by repeating old patterns. This is the time where no matter how comfortable pain and suffering is, you've got to show up differently. You've got to show up differently if you want a different life. Otherwise, it will just crumble and crumble. And like I said, I went through this all of 2017 and I resisted it. So the more you resist it, the longer this is going to actually take for you to let go. And then finally one day I was just like, you know, it was like probably August, you know, because it started in my April and May, just like it's starting for you guys. And I literally just was like surrendered to all of it. Like, okay, if the money needs to go, if the husband needs to go, if the friends need to go, if the body needs to get, okay, just bring it, like whatever, because it's going to bring me intense desire on who I really am. Sometimes you guys need to experience complete loss in order to re-identify with your heart's desire, not your community's desires, not your parents' desires, but your true heart's desires are going to be birthed from all of this leveling that's happening, okay? So I just wanted to leave you with that. I'm actually going right now over into my subscription group, and every Tuesday night I do a live channeled question and answer. No question is off limits. We have a very solid no judgment policy in my groups where anything can be asked on any level. We focus on the 4 earth realms: time, relationships, health, and money, because you're here for the spiritual human experience, not to get out. You're here to get in. So instead of checking out, I'm teaching you guys how to check deeply within right now, because that's what you're going to need. So we're going to jump online in the Tika group right now. We've got about 12 online questions. That's usually about an hour and a half worth of channeling for me. And then on Wednesday night, I do my Academy classes in my online virtual classrooms here on Facebook. And then on Thursday night, I do a live channeled message, but this week will actually be week 1 of Milking Frequency. And that is basically how to hold your perspective, hold your heart, hold your truth, hold your awareness, and move into transcendence while everything is basically getting flatlined, because you don't have to experience anything you don't choose. You still have complete choice in all of this. And when people say, well, it's going to take time for me to rebuild, it's going to take time for me to get the money, it's going to take time, and I'm going to say, it's all bullshit. The only thing that ever exists in the universe is frequency and vibration. Match the frequency, hold the frequency, become the frequency. The universe gives you a perfectly new reality, exactly the frequency that you are vibrating. So there is no time and space needed. You just have to make the choice, and then you have to get really focused. And so I'm going to teach you how to stay focused and all the different things that we can do to stay focused, because we really have to trick all of the programs that are running in the background. So this is kind of an anti-shadow workshop where I'm not going to be teaching shadow work. I'm going to be teaching reward work, which is, there's two ways that we evolve, is through pain and through reward. So I'm actually going to teach the reward focus quantum process, which is basically is how to move into a parallel reality and then stay there until it anchors and the universe reflects it back to you so that you can see it with your third dimensional eyes. All right, thank you guys for joining me. You know, if you're fascinated by the little tiny astrology that there's some phenomenal information out there right now. All you have to do is Google this and you can read all about it. I would recommend not getting too sucked up in the fear of change and just saying change is a law of creation. Time for me to get going. Who do I choose to be? Surrender the loss, move into heart's desire, and then get super obsessed with your own heart's desire, okay? So I will see you all, class students, in the other class as soon as I log off and log back in. And welcome new community members. And if you guys are wanting more material besides the subscription group, obviously we're on iTunes and YouTube, and we have, I don't know, over 300 videos on there. So we will see you on the flip side and get really grounded in your new rooting. So thanks for letting me blab. So I'll see you all very soon. Thanks.